Y'all, how you doing? Another edition of Big Joe Recovery. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. It's a beautiful day. It's another day to get it right.
That's right.
I'm here with a new friend of mine, new acquaintance I just recently met. And welcome to Big Joe Recovery. And let me tell you a little something about Big Joe Recovery before you introduce yourself. I created this channel on YouTube here. One day just sitting in my living room. I'm like, what else can I do for service work to give back to people looking for recovery, try a new way to live, and scrolling through YouTube, and I said, you know what, I see this create button, so I said, all right, so let me try something out. So, I try to do some motivational, inspirational quotes. I love David Goggins, E.T., stuff like that, but it's creating your journey and finding your path. So that's my whole gravitation towards a newcomer here in recovery. Recovery saved my life. So if I can help in some kind of way with other addicts in recovery, such as yourself and everybody else who's watching this and who's been on the show, find a new way to live. Create your journey. You're never too old to start this journey. And I learned that the hard way, in and out of prison. Just keep falling down the same rabbit hole until I made the change. I had to want to make that change, and here I am. And Big Joe Recovery started with me, Big Joe, and now it's finding you, the big you. So now with that, why not introduce yourself?
My name's Matt. I'm 25 years old. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I work in the field of addiction now. I've been on pretty much all sides of it. I have personal experience myself. I've dealt with family members going through it. Like Joe said, I too have a passion for helping people and showing people that there is a way out.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Pleasure meeting you and getting to know you in the last couple of weeks here at CCAR. And, you gravitate towards that person that kind of knows what you're going through and that path that I'm on. And I felt immediate connection with you. And,
Definitely.
That's great. Our overall message is we want to help people find recovery.
Absolutely.
You're in recovery when you say you're in recovery.
Absolutely.
It's a process, the process of change. And that was what was difficult for me, was changing. So I was used to this, the negative lifestyle, hanging out on the streets. And that took time to do that. I went from going to Catholic school, middle school, high school, starting to dip and dab, and then I started drinking. And then deterioration over the years. And then that lifestyle was attractive at the time, the streets, Let me go hang out with these dudes. What they doing over there? And it came with nothing but negativity. So now when people see my Big Joe postings, I'll do the shorts on YouTube, I'll do the quick 15, 60 seconds. Hey, today's a great day to get it right. Whatever the message may be for the day, honest, self-honesty, whatever it may be. This dude's always positive.
Hell yeah. I
am. Because I was so negative for so long. I hated myself. And what I shared last week, my father, my biological father. So last Friday was the 26th, and that was the day he committed suicide. In 2007. It's tattooed on my arm here. And I use that story now as fuel to help somebody who may have been in that situation. Even if it wasn't their father, but maybe it was their aunt. My best friend was my uncle who lived in California, Uncle Scott. And that's my mom's brother. He died while I was in prison, my first prison stint. That shit hit me hard, man. We used to go to Oakland Raider games all the time. I'd fly out there once a year, go stay with him in his pad. And it was just he was that guy for me. We used to toss the football around when I was younger. And I talked about, today's funny, in my journaling group, I talked about what were significant events that impacted my life. And it was death. Death, from 2007 to 2017, I lost 10 crucial people in my life. So 10-year span, I'm in my 20s. My dad was 07, I was 21. I was 21. So it started with that, and then the roller coaster effect began.
Yep.
I never healed properly.
Absolutely.
Now it's all about healing.
You didn't have time to get over one thing before the next thing happened.
Exactly.
Dude, I feel that.
I thought drinking was the solution.
Absolutely.
And the cocaine came. And that shit was euphoria. But enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about you. Because I want to share your message, and we all have something to offer. And I know you're going to have something good. Because we've had personal conversations, and that's what we do in recovery. We talk about things, live in the solution, not the problem.
Absolutely.
So what was your rock bottom that got you into recovery? Was there like a trap door underneath the rock bottom? Give us, tell it to us. Talk about it.
Which rock bottom do you want? I mean,
all of it.
I mean, you know, I've hit rock bottom, I don't know, 20, 30 times. Ooh. You know, I thought that, you know, rock bottom at first was losing a job over using, right? Or getting arrested, right? It got to a point in time where getting arrested was a fucking Tuesday morning. You know, that's nothing new.
Coffee at Dunkin'?
Seriously. You know, most recently, you know, my last relapse, that rock bottom, you know, I didn't go on some crazy, dramatic, glamorous run where, you know, I burned everything to the ground. You know, it really wasn't a bad run, but what fucked me up was I had been doing so well, you know, and I had everything that I could possibly want. Like, shit was good, you know, and I got in my way. You know, I got in my fucking head, and
what'd that look like?
Just you know, at first it was isolating. You know, and that's the biggest red flag with me is like if I start isolating, that's the beginning of the end.
You already know.
100. I've been down that road way too many times, and you know, with the isolating, then I start skipping on meetings. I start not picking up the phone, or you know. And then, yeah, it's inevitable what happens. But, you know, so I had, my last relapse, I was like weeks, maybe 6 weeks shy of hitting a year. Right?
That's a big mark right there, too.
Right? And that was the longest I had ever had. I wasn't able to put together 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was the one who would relapse the day of getting out of treatment. Right? And
been there before.
You know, so yeah, I had everything I could have wanted, and I'm sitting in that treatment center, and it was my third time in that treatment center within like less than 2 years, right? So I'd been doing good for almost a year. I'd gone to that treatment center, done good for almost a year, and then I'm back there, and I'm sitting in this big room where they had all the groups, right? And I'm looking around, and I'm just looking at everything. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing back here? Right? And the guilt and the shame and like that was worse than any dope sick, any fucking detox.
Yeah.
That was the worst feeling that I've ever felt in my entire life. I just felt like the biggest piece of shit, you know, and it took me a while to get over that. Like that fucked me up for a while, you know. I was like walking back in the meetings with my tail between my legs and being almost feeling ashamed to go up and get the 24-hour coin, the 30-day coin, and that's my fucking ego, you know. But yeah, man, that feeling of guilt and shame, and just like knowing that, not even that I let down the people in my life, but that I let myself down after doing so well, like that fucked me up, you know. And then I was like, I can't do it anymore. You know, like it got bad. It got dark.
Dark times.
Yeah.
What was your, what do you think was probably your weakest point? Did you ever like me, for instance, I thought about that suicide attempt before on my father's grave, but I couldn't pull the trigger, so to say.
Yep.
No matter how high or drunk I was, I just couldn't muster it up. Mm-hmm. What was like the lowest feeling for you? What were those feelings? You know, I never addressed my feelings, so I want to hear your perspective. But what were your feelings at that point where like, fuck, I can't do this no more? Like,
I was just like,
what was everything?
You know, the biggest feelings obviously were the guilt and the shame, but you know, I with those came desperation.
Desperation.
You know, and that was, you know, I'd felt desperation before, but that was, you know, waking up with $1 in my pocket and no dope, wondering how I'm going to get through the day.
I was scraping, looking for pennies.
Right? And, yeah, man, I just, you know, like you said, I turned that into fuel. You know, I was like, I'm never going to feel like this again. You know,
something just clicked.
That was it. And it was...
No more shame, no more guilt.
Right.
I'm not doing this no more.
And it was funny, like, you know, a couple months later, once I, you know, snapped out of that and I was on point and everything, I was looking back at it and I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, like 2 years ago I was sleeping on the fucking street, right? I'm drawing up puddle water into my fucking needle because I can't drop 50 cents
to get a cup of water.
Right? And that wasn't rock bottom for me. Like, that wasn't enough. And it turns out what was enough is just me feeling enough like a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But, you know, that being said, though, I'm still, like, grateful for all the shit that I went through, you know? Because I know how bad it can get and how fast it can get there.
Quick, snap of a finger.
Dude, I can be homeless in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Maybe less.
Definitely less, honestly. Less if I'm putting in effort.
Dude, you know that. It's the same thing like recovery. If you could put the amount of time into using, you put it into recovery.
Dude, not even, bro. You put 10% of the effort you put into getting that next fix, into getting sober, you're going to be fine. Literally, that's it. Like, I think about some of the shit, dude, fuck. Some of the shit that I was doing to you know, get money, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Visit pawn shops before?
Alright. I'm banned from a couple.
Ah.
Yeah, no.
Careful.
Yeah.
Anything, you know, any means necessary. You know,
Seriously.
It was one of my favorite movies with Any Given Sunday, Jamie Foxx and Al Pacino. You know, any means necessary, man. It's fucking, you got to do what you got to do to survive, man.
That's it, and that's really what it is, you know. And for me, especially, like, my drug of choice kills, I don't even know how many hundreds of people every day.
Yeah.
You know, so it truly. I mean, it's life and death for everybody, but I know for me, 100%, it is. Like, if I go back out, I'm going to die.
You're right.
It's not a matter of if, it's when.
When. That's the word, is when. Because we keep putting ourselves in this situation, this negative atmosphere. I don't care what your drug of choice is. Even if it's alcohol, dope, crack, heroin.
What kind of weed?
Weed. Everything's got fentanyl in it nowadays.
Yeah, for real.
Now they have the xylazine shit out there that they can't even test for. Nothing works. You're done. If it's your day, it's your day, and you're taking that shit. It's it, you know.
Dude, I've lost.
If that don't wake you up with the fucking hole in your arm or your leg, I don't. What's it gonna take? But
I lost four or five people in the last year and a half. 2 of which were my best friends, man. All to that shit. And I mean, one of them, you know, he was my best friend for a while. You know, that was his first time picking up.
Right.
Killed him just like that.
I had a buddy, Scotty, a good friend of mine. We worked in the car business together a long time. Scotty Tuhati, Scott LaRock, and he went to jail for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months. Mm-hmm. And he was big into heroin and pills. And he went out, came back, and I think he sniffed it back. I don't know. I didn't hear the whole story because I was going back to jail myself. Mm-hmm. But me and him were tight, and he was gone. Because he took that little break, came out, and thought he could be Superman. And it took his life, you know. And like I'd say every before my Journaling with Joe group, every Friday at CCAR, I say, can we please take a moment for the still sick and suffering addict who may or may not know recovery is possible and will die tonight. Because there's going to be plenty that lose their lives tonight. And it's unfortunate that people have to die for some of us to find recovery. Because sometimes it'll take that one close person that you know that might say, hey, I need to reevaluate my life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's setting goals and reevaluating is great. Next step, because in addiction, we can't set no fucking goals. If we do, our goal is to get high.
That's it.
That's
our
the
goal is to not be sick.
Not to be sick.
That's it.
You know, and jail saved my life the last time around. I don't care what anybody says, but jail saved my life. And I hear it a lot of times in these rooms. Jail saved a lot of people's lives.
Another one of my best friends, he just celebrated 5 years earlier this year. He got sober in jail. And he got out. He went straight into a sober house. Stayed there for like another year and a half.
Yeah. Something like very similar to my journey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's killing it. He just got engaged earlier this year. Like
Yeah. The success, I say, it's always a fallback for the comeback. You know, and make it the last comeback, the greatest comeback ever. And I'm not letting anything take me off my path.
No.
Nothing.
Nope.
After you've hit that rock bottom, underneath the rock bottom, enough is enough. I'm sick of falling in that trap.
That's it.
It started up here with me. Change that mindset. For me, was getting back into the Bible in jail. Ask for a Bible the first week. And then you start, doing whatever programs you need to do. I did tier 2. I was in there, which is addiction rooted.
Yep.
And then I found AA when I got to prison, when I went up the way. And I was like, all right, I've been to AA before, never sober. Stopped in a couple of meetings, and I know one of my great friends was actually the chairman at one of them, and he was like, just keep coming. I didn't know what keep coming meant until, and then I found C-Car when I got out. It's like everything fell into place when I turned it over up here and my surrender.
Yep.
Everything changed. What did your surrender look like? What did you pray? What did it look like to you when you finally said enough is this bullshit?
When I actually surrendered, I had gotten a new sponsor, right? I got out of treatment. I got a new sponsor, right? I did every single thing he told me to.
Yep.
Every single thing, no matter if I thought it was dumb, no matter if I thought it was awkward, whatever. I did every fucking thing exactly how he told me to. And that was praying, that was picking up the phone, that was, writing shit down, a couple other things. But one of the biggest things was, that he really drilled into my head was praying. Yeah. And I'm not a religious guy. I'm spiritual now. Yes. Thanks to recovery.
Yes.
So prayer has definitely become a huge part of my everyday life. And that's something I can thank for keeping me sober. I know that for a fact.
100%. I like that. There's something higher than us out there.
100%.
Call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you got to believe in something greater than you.
Yeah, I am not God.
Oh, definitely not.
Nope.
Neither of us or anybody we know.
Nobody is God.
The personal relationship you have with whoever that higher power is, that keeps you going. Like for me, I have a pattern every morning. I wake up before I get out of bed. I thank my Lord God, and then I get up, do what I do. Then I make sure I hit my journal, my gratitude journal. Got to be grateful for 3 things every day.
Yes, sir.
I got to, and it works. I just ordered my new ones coming in. Actually, it's being delivered right now as we speak. I just saw the notification. And do you have a ritual you have to do every day? Anything throughout the day that you have to do just to remind yourself?
I don't have anything. I mean, I pray every morning.
Okay.
I pray every morning, typically while I'm still laying in bed.
Okay.
That's really the only thing that I do.
Okay.
Consistently.
Good.
I try. I get to the gym. As often as I can. But prayer is that's the big one.
Great. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give someone out there that may be watching this later on or right now and say, what can you offer them that you wish you could have done differently to find recovery if your life is out of control and unmanageable? Because I know you're a step guy like me. working the steps is a big thing for me. But think about that for a second. What would you offer someone, say, struggling? I meet so many people randomly on the streets. Mm-hmm. You know, I was homeless. I see homeless all the time, especially here out in Hartford. It's rough, but you know, just to offer that piece of advice that, hey, I always say there's a new way to live, a different way to live, and I try to keep it short and sweet because you know when you're in active addiction, that attention span is real small. But if you could just hit them with a quick 1 or 2 liner, you know, and you never know. Planting that seed is like the biggest thing, and I think just offering someone, hey, I've been there. I remember having holes in my shoes, if I had shoes. Yo, sleeping on that park bench, you know how it is, man. It's just like.
I think the main thing that I would tell people, especially younger people, is that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You know, because people were 100% convinced I was gonna die. You know, I have died twice. You know, I've overdosed more times in years I've been alive. 2 of them, I was dead. You know, I was fucking dead. You know,
Narcan,
even that.
Jumpstart.
Oh, yeah, but they were past Narcan. They were CPR, you know, AED,
Yep.
the whole 9. You know, and even after the second time I died, dude, I kept going for like 2 years.
Yeah, I seen one of my friends go through it too. Right when he came out the hospital, went back and copped another bag.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, that's some crazy shit.
That was me. Yeah, man. I mean, I think about where I was at a couple years ago, man, and like where I'm at now. Like, fuck. that's all I can say.
You gotta be proud of yourself.
Oh, 100%.
If nobody's told you today, I'm proud of you.
I
For real.
appreciate you, brother. But yeah, it blows my fucking mind. Like, I never thought that I could have the life that I have today. You know, that's not to say my life's perfect. You know, we've talked. My life's not perfect, but you know, but I have everything that I need.
Yeah.
I have everything that I need. I have people in my life that give a shit about me.
Yeah.
Right? I know that.
There's no excuses.
No excuses.
None.
There's truly nothing that I can use to go back out. Nothing. You know, and if I do come up with something, that's me in my own fucked up head. You know, it's me bullshitting myself.
Then you gotta reevaluate some shit.
I gotta pick up the phone.
Quick, fast.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's got phones too, even if you're homeless, most part.
100%.
You know, it might be broken, but there are no excuses. You know, I never talked. I wasn't a talker. Mm-hmm. I thought I could do everything, even at my worst. I ask questions now. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I don't care if they're stupid. You gotta ask questions.
You gotta ask questions and you gotta just talk about shit. And that was something else that I struggled with for a very long time. I could not open up to nobody. I don't care if I knew you for 5-10 years.
Just like me, yeah. And it's funny. Us addicts were all alike in a similar way. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of same patterns.
100%.
And that's what brings us together, you know. And normies, I call you guys that are normal, just can't understand that that part of addiction. And what would you tell a normie that could try to understand how we think and behave, and that we have to work on this on a daily? What do you think on that? Like, is there anybody you might know personally in your life that's like, what's wrong with you? You know, like I know I've heard it a few times. But
I mean, I'm pretty fortunate in the sense that pretty much all of my family is in recovery in one way or another. At least the family that's a part of my life today. So, you know, there's never been, I shouldn't say there's never been judgment. You know, my family, when I first got really bad with the opioids, they didn't fully understand what opioid addiction actually looked like. They didn't understand, like, you know, all the details of it, if you will. So at first there was a lot of, I really don't want to say judgment, but that's really the best word that I could use. But it was more or less just a lack of education, you know?
Yeah.
They just didn't know.
And
then, you know, after some time and after learning a little bit more and you know, talking with other people, they came to understand it more, and they were like, okay, like it's you know, I think the biggest thing is that a lot of family members of addicts and alcoholics, they tend to take those persons' actions personally.
I see that.
They take it as a personal attack. Not all the time, you know, and some more than others, but I've seen that myself. So I think the biggest thing that people need to realize is it's truly not a personal attack. It has nothing to do with you know, everybody else. It has to do with the person that's drinking or using.
Yeah.
Something is wrong inside them. Something is broken or hurting, or you know, because I mean it's just tough, you know. And like I said earlier, I've been on both sides of it, so you know, I'm guilty of it too, taking it personally. But then you know, I got to take a step back and look at myself.
So I think the biggest key here is taking the time to listen to someone, you know, just sitting there, actually listening, not looking at your watch or your phone and saying, oh, I got to be here. Set yourself up for being available. Like if someone says we need to talk, all right, let's sit down. Let's address that, hey, I might have an obligation coming up, but I'm all ears right now. Just, you know, clear the air right then and there so you guys can both be on the same page and feel connected. Yeah. You know, like, okay, wow, it's going to take some time to sit and listen with me. And that's the big thing when I'm working with recoveries. I make sure when that phone rings that I'm going to be available. 100%.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's huge, you know, and a lot of times, like, you know, for me, when people that I care about go back out, they relapse. You know, of course, I'll do everything that I possibly can for that person. But once I've exhausted all my options, all that there's left that I can do is just be available.
That's it.
Be there when the phone rings.
Yeah.
You know, if and when it rings.
Yeah. That's it. Be available is key.
Definitely.
You know? After that seed is planted, you know, the ball's in your court now. Just know that I'm still here for you.
Right.
Even if you fall down, I'll still be there when you're ready.
100%.
And it's just, if we come back from the downfall, can we get that comeback story going? That's the thing. Are we going to be able to come back for the comeback? I know I don't got another run in me. That's for sure.
I got another run in me, but I don't know if I got another recovery. You know, I'm not going to make it back, dude. I'm going to fucking die.
That run could, to the first hit, that's it. It could be over.
It's not could. It will.
It is.
And that's the way I got to see it, man. With the shit that's out today, man, you don't get chances.
No.
It's Russian roulette.
Big time.
It's fucking...
Spin that thing. Thank you so much, Matt.
Absolutely,
Appreciate you. Is there any one last thing you'd like to say? How about a positive affirmation?
Positive affirmation.
What you got?
If I can do it, anyone can do it.
I like that. Train your mind to be stronger than your feelings. Keep working on yourself.
I like that.
All right, everybody, stay blessed. Thank you, Matt, once again for coming on.
Thank you.
Recovery is possible. Remember that, guys and girls. Let's do this one person at a time. Big Joe Recovery. See y'all soon.